We are getting set to watch Tiger Woods tee off for the second round at Augusta National after he had an impressive opening round on Thursday, playing in his first competitive round in 508 days. Basically since the final round of the 2020 Masters Tournament. Woods carded a 1-under-71 on Thursday to put him in the thick of it at T10. It was his third consecutive time that he's been inside the top 11 after a round at the Masters, appearing in his 24th edition of the tournament. 22 of his first round scores have been in the 70s. Of course, the exceptions being 2 rounds of 68 in 2010 and 2020. Woods carded 3 birdies and 2 bogeys in his opening 18 holes. Tiger said after that he had a terrible warm-up session ahead of that round, but then remembered what his dad told him. His dad would ask him, "Did you accomplish your task? Did you warm up?" "Yeah, I did." "Okay, good. Now get after it." And of course, that he did. And let's see what he has in store for us for round 2 in just a few minutes. And for more on the second round, let's welcome in our CBS Sports golf analyst, Rick Gehman, host of the First Cut podcast, and Michael Breed, host of Course Record with Michael Breed. Before we look ahead, let's talk about what we saw from Tiger on Thursday in that opening round. Rick, how impressed were you with what you saw from Tiger given the layoff for him?
I mean, given the layoff, I couldn't have asked for anything more from Tiger. To get under par and put himself on the first page of the leaderboard after 500 and some odd days away from the game. I mean, it's almost hard to describe how impressed I've been with this marathon that we've seen from Tiger Woods in the last 14 months since the accident. Remember, he's still very much in active rehabilitation right now, and he goes out at the Masters and shoots around under par while the rest of the game's best, or many of the game's best, were unable to better him. Now, when I look at it from a golfing standpoint, I do think he left a couple of shots out there, right? He made a sloppy bogey at number 8. He hit some good shots that were certainly rewarded, and he did everything but drive the ball in a way that I would be very encouraged about. If he can clean up the driver, keep it in play a little more often over the course of the next couple of days, I think Tiger can keep his name in the mix.
I would agree with exactly what Rick said. I look at this from a couple of different points of view. One, I think physically, maybe probably one of the hardest rounds of golf he's ever had to play. You can think all you want that playing it and walking Augusta National with the challenges that he has had is going to be difficult. But until you do it, until you're out there for 5 hours and 20 minutes, and under the pressure of executing shots with counting every single stroke, it's totally different. So I look at this from a standpoint of fabulous work, 1 under par, brilliant, genius, all the other accolades. But the other thing is the emotional toll and then the recovery that he is facing going forward. That's something that we'll get into, no question about it. But when you look at what hasn't changed with this guy, it's his mind. And I will tell you that we got a glimpse of it on the 14th hole when he hit that errant tee shot over the left-hand side, and he looked up, and there was no doubt in his mind that he was going to be able to execute the shot. There was no doubt in his mind that he was going to deal with some sort of pain because he had to hoist this ball up into the air and maybe hang back on that ailing right leg. And he did it, and he did it exactly the way he wanted to. And we got a chance to look in the eyes of a Tiger Woods and remember that guy that won a U.S. Open on a broken leg, that guy that didn't make a bogey in the final round of an Open. This is a guy who has a level of a brain, of a mind, of a determination, of a willfulness that most of us aren't even close to being aware of. And I think that what we saw from Tiger was just an example of a guy that understands the golf course as well as he does and never put himself in a position where double bogey was in jeopardy. The 2 bogeys that he made were really poor mistakes, as Rick talked about. Poor mistakes with short shots. 50-yard third shot on the par 5 8th, and he makes a bogey. And then he hits a very sort of lackluster, it was a quizzical club choice for me with a 4-iron on 14 down the hill, and he just got a little bit aggressive with it. I look at that round, and that round was orchestrated from his mind more than it was anything else.
Michael, 2-part question just to follow up on that, the mind aspect of Tiger Woods. How big was it for him to go out there, given what he's experienced in the last 508 days, and shoot an under par round? And how does that psychologically affect the rest of the field to see Tiger come out and play like that?
Well, I think to your first question, I think psychologically, how does it affect the rest of the field? I think the rest of the field is thrilled that Tiger's out there. I do think that there's some players around him, and I give a lot of credit to the round of golf that Cam Smith played because he was playing in the wake of Tiger Woods. The groups that are sort of just maybe a group or two groups in front of Tiger, and then certainly the group behind him, they're dealing with something that they're not used to. And so, when I think of what that offers, it offers the players around him a huge hurdle, but not the entire field. I think the field is thrilled to have Tiger Woods participating in the Masters, and I think more than anything else, what this says is that Tiger Woods is here. His determination is still as strong as it's ever been, maybe even stronger. The challenge that he's going to have is the strength of the wind this afternoon and what he's going to face when he goes out there. It's going to be blowing maybe even close to 20 miles an hour, and that is going to make this golf course play very, very challenging.
Yeah, I think from a determination aspect, as Michael alludes to, I mean, Tiger is number one. You could see it from the very first shot he hit on Thursday after that long layoff. He hits the little wipey fade out to the right on number one, and he's disgusted. He's disgusted with his results. We're sitting here with the pomp and circumstance and just thrilled to see him back playing and competing, and he's disgusted with the first shot that he hit in basically 17 months. It's absolutely incredible stuff with the way that his mind works. And one of the things that we knew even leading up to the will he and won't he play conversation is if he does play, he probably has two shots on the field just in his brain, just knowing where to miss it, where not to miss it. And it's going to be a huge challenge on Friday afternoon when these winds do kick up. I think that might be better for Tiger. We'll see. We'll see how much he can flush it into some of these, crosswinds where he's going to have to hold it up against the breeze. But knowing where to miss it, and if everybody's missing the greens, getting yourself in kind of these short area spots around the greens where only Tiger can get up and down from or do it more frequently than the rest of his peers, I'm absolutely intrigued with the way that the windy version of Augusta National is going to play out for a determined Tiger Woods.
Well, and it's going to be interesting as well because he was playing with Joaquin Niemann and Louis Oosthuizen, but Louis Oosthuizen has had to withdraw due to injury after he shot a 4/76 in round one. So it's just Tiger and Joaquin Niemann, and Niemann had himself a good round to kick off the Masters. He shot a 3/69. So I don't know if it's going to increase the pace in terms of Tiger playing with just one other player versus playing with two. But I mean, how do you see things shaking out with this particular group now that Oosthuizen is out of it, Rick?
Yeah, so I think this is, again, kind of a low-key positive for Tiger Woods. I don't think Tiger cares about staying on the clock or keeping up with the group ahead of him, but they're going to be waiting a lot. And that is going to give both Joaquin Niemann and Tiger Woods just a few extra seconds on each hole to maybe walk up to the green, really see their shots, to think through every single moment. There's going to be nowhere to go. They're going to be in no rush. And Joaquin Niemann's actually kind of the X factor here. Cam Champ, number one in driving distance in round number one. Rory McIlroy, number three. Number two, Joaquin Niemann. This guy drives the ball like you can't even imagine coming off of that frame that he has on his body there. And he's able to kind of work the ball in different directions. He can play it low. He can keep it kind of through or beneath the wind. I think he's really an X factor playing with Tiger on Friday and certainly with the conditions that we expect to roll in.
I think there's pluses and minuses to this, as Rick talked about. One of the minuses is it's always an advantage to have another ball in play. If you go out there and you're not sure about what's going on with the wind and you get to see one player hit and then another player hit, say on hole number 12, you get an idea of what's happening. And then all of a sudden, the club that you choose, you got a little bit more confidence in. So I think there's a negative to that. I think the positive to that for Tiger Woods is he doesn't have to rush when he's walking. And I know Rick said you're not on the clock, and I get it. They won't be. But at the same time, it will allow Tiger to maybe slow his gait just a little bit. And I think that's a positive for Tiger. So what it all boils down to, I think it's just another one of those things that lets us know that God really loves us and really likes Tiger Woods.
Well, it's hard to argue with that. And of course, we'll see. I mean, he had the bad warm-up yesterday that he said, but he said he went out there, and still managed to get it done. I wonder what kind of a warm-up he's having today. We are seeing shots of him in and out as he is warming up and getting ready to tee off momentarily. But quickly, let's update the leaderboard for you. Sung Jae Im is atop the leaderboard, but it is a three-way tie at the top. Danny Willett and Cameron Smith have joined him there at 4 under par. Of course, Smith just onto the course. And then you have Charles Schwartzel leading a group of 3 under. That includes Tiger's playing mate for round 2, Joaquin Niemann. Again, that is just a twosome today because of Louis Oosthuizen, who has withdrawn. Scotty Scheffler also in that group. All right.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.